Podcast City Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Let's get it on!
Come into the ring, step into the fire, see what you want, baby. If your heart has desire, and get out, get knocked down. Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Deathmatch Russell Podcast.
And good evening, everyone. You're listening to another episode of the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. And my guest tonight, the one and only, he's hungrier than a wolf himself. He is the lone wolf, Brandon Wolfe. How are you? How's that? Is that pretty good?
I'm going good, man. How are you?
Was that a cool promo? I don't know. Spliff.
It's always cool, but I think everyone, when they call me the lone wolf, Brandon Wolfe, they always kind of have that little back tongue stutter. So I try to keep it. It's always kind of weird, but I try to keep it some more simple. It's like the loner, if you will, the loner.
Right.
So people won't stutter over wolf and being repetitious.
Wolfie, and there's some, because there's other names. You see that in wrestling. There's not a lot of other wolves, but there's one Brandon Wolfe. That's why. So how you doing tonight? Pretty good. It's Friday night.
Good.
It's Friday night. It's you catching up on wrestling, catching up or watching and studying, or what do you?
I try to watch wrestling, but the weirdest thing is I try, like today's is like I try, but at times I just can't, but so when I go have some free time, I'll watch some old matches. I'll watch some All Japan or Noah, and my favorite ones they always go to are Kenta matches.
Kenta, one of the greatest guys of wrestling to this day. Just amazing how his style is so strong,
And hard hitting. My favorites to watch are Ring of Honor and Impact or TNA matches. And the one match I get irritated when I can't see all time is Desmond Wolfe and Kurt Angle when they had their trilogy. That was I want to watch them all.
Yeah, gotta watch it. But and you go back and you watch the original stuff. I like the original stuff better than the now product. Go back and watch the original way back with the 4-ring posts, not the 5-6 posts, and and the X Division title, crazy climb the ladder, and climb the structure,
They were trying to do things to get noticed, and it was, I give respect
Monsters
to what
Ball.
they were trying to do.
I know. And then the Monsters Ball, that was the original. That was an Abyss original.
Yeah, I actually have one DVD from TNA, and that's Bound for Glory 2005, and it's amazing how many people I've come to kind of been around that are on that pay-per-view where I've kind of seen in person.
Right. Yeah, there's so much you see and go, and I remember they did a house show, in Jersey one time, and they had a guy. The commentator guy or selling $5 bags, gift bags. You buy 5 DVDs for $20. I was like, this is great. You don't get that at a show.
I believe it's Don Callis, and
yes,
I think he's going through something right now where Pro Wrestling Tees is selling those little toys for Don Callis, and if I think every bit of it goes to a donation for Don Callis, and I hope he gets better. I hope he's doing good.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember going to.
Dude,
I remember going.
Who this? Oh, we have. Do you know this clown? Do you know this guy, Mr. Neil Diamond Cutter? Neil Diamond Cutter?
No, I've.
He likes to. He's a deathmatch wrestler on the scene too, up in I think everywhere. He's everywhere. Shout out to him. How you doing, Neil? Michigan area. He likes to wrestle out of there and IWA. ICW. That's where he's from. ICW, No Holds Barred.
I think I've seen ICW a little bit. I think I've seen
Yeah,
a bit of
yes,
it.
his matches.
Akira.
Yeah.
I've met Akira before. He's a pretty cool guy. I really liked him when I first met him,
Mhm.
and I'm very happy
Yeah.
and proud of what he's done. And Don Moxley walking out with his hoodie. And I hope,
Did you see that? I was like, holy shit! I did. I probably would have tweeted that out. I should have tweeted that, but I'm not gonna be like, that's cool
it's
to
very
see him.
it's very
Yeah.
awesome to see that. And
Oh, did we lose audio? Uh-oh. Hang on, folks. Lag. Was very. Uh-oh. His lag. He just died, folks. Hold on. No, this is not good. Wait a few minutes. Uh-oh. Stay tuned, fans. This always happens in a podcast. Technology. Hey, shout out to Brandon Edwards listening in. How are you, my friend? It's been a while. Miss you, my friend. Hope everything is good your way. And yeah, just last night, I'll just talk about it while he's refreshing. Last night on AEW was actually right near me at the Jersey Shore down in Atlantic City, as they had their AEW. I think they had an AEW Elevation and Dark and Rampage. Last night was featured there. One solid card that's for sure. And yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, last night not Impact at AEW. We saw a whole bunch of stuff, and you know it, Brandon. Wrestling shows every weekend. Yes, like I'll be at one tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to going back. I haven't been to Sean for a couple days, catching up on local wrestling. Going to celebrate 25 years independent wrestling superstar Steve Monster Mac. We're representing him. It's going to be a show about him the whole night. It's going to be great. Throwback show to like our Jersey All Pro days of wrestling at the Jersey at JPW, along with a tag team title match that I'm looking forward to because I've been plugging and having them on my podcast, as they're always welcome to come back. Team Takeover. PJ Savage and Ransom, the tag team champions of Titan Championship Wrestling.
about that, my apologies.
And we're back.
I don't know how my phone just got overheated and died.
Technology.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm not that great at.
Nobody is.
My apologies.
Come on. No worries. So yeah, seeing that Akira spot we were going on. Yeah.
It's very cool to see wrestlers support each other through that way. And I think it's very awesome that it leads to another, not probably source of income, but also a source of what can we do to support each other. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Support each other's product, and it's just like I support you, you support me. do what we have to do for the business,
Yeah, because if
as a hobby. This is a hobby. This is like fun. This is what I enjoy. This is a hobby on the weekend. Like when I got work during the week, I help and promote wrestlers and get promotions noticed, and and the stories are great. And yeah,
I think wrestling people, I remember seeing someone post about this, and like if you make something else than wrestling for W-2s or something, and you get taxes, like you're not a wrestler. And the thing I got about that is like I understand where the guy came from. Where he said, okay, if you don't solely make like income from wrestling, you're not one. I beg to differ in some ways. Because if you bust your tail end and you wrestle guys and you make the drives and you go to towns and you make those kids smile, and you make those people angry, you are one to a perspective. And I think you are one when you do all those things. It takes time to make a living out of wrestling. The moment you do like Ronnie Roberts, it's exciting to see someone that's living their life the way that he always loves to. And I love Ronnie.
Yeah, shout out to Ronnie. He's a big inspiration, man. He's coming back on a podcast on the 22nd. I guess my friend is going to have him, and I'm going to be on there again.
Ronnie's been with me since day one of me starting. I've been around for about 4 years, and he's been around since day one.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Brandon. What got you into wrestling as a kid? What got you caught your eye at the at young age watching wrestling?
My dad was a fan, and my brother was. But when I was going through things, I was born with high functioning autism, and I went through a lot of therapy in and out. And wrestling, watching it kind of helped me aspire to keep going when everything's got tough. And I really enjoyed, the characters and the stories and the matches. And I always wanted to grow up being one to inspire people like how I was. And I always walk out, I have the key to my motivation on my arm. And I always walk out with a puzzle piece necklace. Not go full blown into like the autism, but I want those little hints that I have it. And I'm very proud of it, very prideful, and I want to inspire kids like that. I've been inspired to do it.
Yeah, I have I'm special too, so it's all good. We're special, and we love supporting each other, and and wrestling is our gateway.
Yeah,
is our to life. As
well.
When
it came to friends and doing stuff, I never had a lot of them.
No.
I had friends, but I didn't go out to do a lot. So I actually had a lot of time watching wrestling and playing video games and create characters to make your own little show.
Yeah.
And it's always awesome to see how creative you are when you're like, oh, I made this character, that character. I think the most impressive part is like when you can manipulate a character that has a past history. Like, what if Attila Hun was a wrestler? What would it be like? And damn.
Exactly. Yeah, you put the head of somebody else on another body. It's like, okay, this is like you said, Attila the Hun. Come on. Yeah, it's just weird. It's just a weird world. Growing up playing the video games, I was never the best at playing them. I was never the best. I would just call my friend up. Hey, can you come over and try to create a wrestler for me?
Yeah, that's what I would do. I would be more creating the wrestlers and creating shows. Like I remember, like the favorite characters I would make would be just the originals, and then you just kept doing shows. Like, oh, now we got Eric Jones, and I selfishly use Jacob Cass because of WWE 12, and my favorite is my career the Road to WrestleManias, which I hated that it went away, but I understood why. Scotty X and others. Like I'm making characters that I would love to do now, but I was like, I'm happy with my character. I'm happy with my personality.
Yes, yeah, because you control who you are now. You don't have to do that virtually.
No, but it's fun. But it's fun to see what I wear. It's very hard to duplicate into a video game because they don't have for legs and a for knee pad. I do.
No. Yeah, and they don't have the mask of a wolf, and like they don't have the 3-dimensional stuff that you would see on those games that they get now. I guess there's that virtual reality is a popular thing, or where you see the games that that they got actually like dive like do moves, and like Rob Van Dam or DDP is out there. I see it all the time. Like
Yeah.
advertised.
What was your favorite video game, like wrestling wise?
Gosh, if the original Nintendo, the pro wrestling when that first came out, and then after seeing the wrestler Mickey Rourke play it, that's like okay.
Mine was like Robert of SmackDown 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I love the game, and what I would do is like other people would do is like they have like their custom characters wrestle, but they would and put them in like a computer mode.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most realistic of them all because
Mm-hmm.
2K like WWE 2K14 and so on. But
Mm-hmm.
2010 was most fun to watch, and the gameplay was just real fun to do.
And also, I got lucky one time. I actually, I worked for Public Works, right? So I go garbage. I was working at a park one time, and I look at the garbage can. I find a whole Sega system with WWF in your house, and it worked. So now I scored like big time on that. I came home, I ran home, after work, plugged it worked. I was like, this is awesome. This is awesome. Yeah. Playing another vintage game of wrestling,
Yeah, everyone's favorite game, whenever they talk, is No Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
That was that, and I actually have a copy of it, but it's over in Louisiana, back for at my little sister's house. It's where
Or
my
also, playing the backyard wrestling video game as well. Don't forget that was popular because the Juggalo Championship Juggalos, and then CZW characters, and it was
I
just
think
kind of weird.
I
Yeah,
think they're about to make a new version of backyard wrestling of death matches, and we're gonna
really.
have. I think
Yeah.
so. I think they're in development of making it,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be really cool whenever the final product comes out. I
Mm-hmm.
think Akira, the when
Mm-hmm.
we talked about Akira, I believe Akira is in the game. He's in the projects for it.
Oh, that's cool.
It, I think it's very cool with him and other guys in the game. It's gonna
Mm-hmm.
make it a lot more of a maybe not like merchandise or
Mm-hmm.
royalties, but it's a fun way to get someone's like name around. Is that
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I still talk about it to this day. And shout out to KG Kevin Gill. He was an original, for that game as well. He helped produce that because he was one of those guys on commentary doing the Juggalo wrestling as well, and just like behind the scenes for wrestling, like for that game, along with Nick Mondo. Sick Nick Mondo and Madman Pondo. There was a whole bunch of guys that just were involved. That's crazy. Just guys we would never think, and look where they are. They're legends and doing good things for wrestling.
yeah?
Training the new generation. You know,
And I have uh, the pleasure of being around Too Tough Tony and
and
Grindhouse.
Josh Crane as well.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Josh,
Just
yeah, to see.
and it's
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. You.
ah, it's so
Bam.
cool to be part of
Yeah.
Grindhouse because the first day I always wanted to be a part of it, and my
Mm-hmm.
first time there, it felt like a good home. And
Mm-hmm.
now it's like I want to make it like not a permanent home, but a place where I can truly go to every time it has a show
Mm-hmm.
and try to bring so many eyes as possible to where it's at. Because I think if you want to see bright young guys showing what they can do and putting on their best, let's
Yeah.
go to Grindhouse. And I love that place.
Mm-hmm. But then it's time to go and take trips and try new promotions, and it's great. It's great to learn. You get out there and you're like, all right, this is a new territory for me. I'm doing something different. You know,
Mhm.
because you got to move town to town to town. Because you want to gotta get your name out there. It's like if you I know you'd love to come to the East Coast and wrestle. That's probably you got plenty of places on your bucket list. I'm sure you want to go.
I have plenty of places ideally where I want to go. I just know it's going to take that time to get there and the polish to get to that point, but it's all going to be worth it the moment it happens.
Yeah, and I could see you probably at my local federation, Titan Championship Wrestling. It's just great seeing new faces come pop in the door. You never know, It's just it's like match. It's like going to it's like at the H2O Academy down in Williamstown where Matt Tremont, the bulldozer, runs. All those students, Akira, shout out to Akira, and Billy Starks and Marcus Mathers, and the list goes on and on and on. There's just so many others, young talent that are starting, and look where they are. Like Billy Starks has,
she's making waves to the point where it's very incredible. I remember meeting her, I think in Rockwood, Indiana, for ASBW, and it was only my second time there, and she was at the show. It was a very nice time, like to meet her back then. It was just like, I think she's like 2 years into it. I think very young into it, and it's amazing to see how far she has gone from then to where she is now. And I had the pleasure being around her in Grindhouse for the Rumble, and didn't step in the ring with her, but it was nice to be around the locker room with everybody, her included.
Yeah, you have to be. It's an experience, and you like, and we're and to be proud of where she, what she's doing, and all the other people as well, everywhere, It's just amazing, man. You start young. It's like you look at yourself, you're like a little kid. And I mean, my God, you see some of these kids, they are, shout out to Marco Stunt, Billy Starks, like the youngest kids in wrestling, like, you think about that. Like, but there's others as well. There's
what
a
about
lot more.
What about Nick Wallach? Over
Nick
in
Wayne?
GCW. Yeah, Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne.
19 years old. Yeah. Yes. Nick Wayne. That's like, my God. It's just amazing. These people, just everybody is,
I feel like it sucks what happened to him at the Hammerstein Ballroom. I think he should have I know they probably couldn't have broken that rule, but I think one time where like he deserved that opportunity.
You did. It was I wish I was there for that, but I wasn't. It was an experience of a lifetime. I could have gone, but I didn't. The pandemic was still going down, and walk the subways, and I'm not going to go through the subway system of New York and keep on wipe my hands with sanitizer. Well, actually, you know how the city is, it's dirty,
Yeah, you need a bucket of bleach with you every step you take. Sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, or you bump into the homeless man, Every street, every corner in the city. Yeah.
I went to New Orleans, and then it's like like every corner you turn there, but by the church is where they're all kind of be gathered.
Yeah, congregating, and it's like it's all like the city.
Well, every place has one. I think Nashville has a few spots. Nashville has a few spots. I think when I go to Jeffersonville, I kind of go through the Louisville town. Louisville has it's very few under the bridge. I think as I try to get off,
there's a couple by me too. It's pretty sad.
I feel for them, but I feel it sucks.
They call it like tent city, like a whole bunch of tents in the woods.
But I feel it kind of sucks whenever they kind of see people beg on the streets. But we've dealt with so long with scams and such, and people going there, then going to a little vehicle afterwards. It kind of makes
you know what? And I get tired of it. You got a cigarette? Sorry. Do you got $1? No, I don't. I'll keep on walking by. Yeah.
I actually had this happen at the mall today, which was someone grabbed me and started polishing my shoes. And I was like, they were trying to sell me some stuff on the side. I'm like, oh,
Can I try to get out of
it's
here?
a
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
it's a hustler. So
Yeah.
I just gave him a $5 tip, and I just went on my way. I was like, I don't need this. Like, I
Yeah.
like my shoes the way they are.
Yeah. Leave them. Yeah. Don't need any more shine to them, please.
No, I like working shoes. I like my shoes that look like they had some go into them. I feel like if you make your shoes clean, too clean, you kind of mark away the story that's been through.
Yeah. Ooh, what is this? Who is this? Ah, Dustin.
Nah, yeah. He's
How you
a
doing?
friend, and
Yeah. Mhm.
I worked as an extra in Impact, and he wanted to take a picture with me after one of the tapings.
Yeah.
And as soon as the taping was over, they sent me out to go get someone because their car broke down to go get
How
food.
was that? How was it being like a like an impact? It was like you're there. It's
It
like this is cool.
it,
Cool
it was
experience.
an it was an absolute pleasure. I asked the
Yeah.
week of
Mhm.
if I could be a part of it, and they thankfully
Mhm.
allowed me to be.
Yeah.
And I had a show that very Saturday, and they were very cool. They let me go do it. So I went to go set up the ring, go get everything set up on
Mhm.
Thursday. Friday was the show. Saturday was one of the tapings, and
Mhm.
I missed partially throughout the first one
Right.
because I had to go drive to Gallatin, which was only 30 minutes away. Went
Yeah.
to go wrestle. Won the RWF Junior Heavyweight
Mhm.
Championship. Drove back, and I'm blitzing in with everything in my bags and drop it
Shoving it
down.
all. Yeah.
Zig,
Try to pack everything up.
Ziggy was well, that's one way to
Mhm.
blitz in, but Ziggy was really cool when I talked with was really cool
Mhm.
along with everybody else. But I had a real good time, real big pleasure going down doing it, and I love the opportunity to do it again. And if I could ever step in the ring there and Impact, I would. It would be a blessing because I watched that 15 years ago with my mom next to the couch,
Mhm.
and she wasn't much of the wrestling fan compared to me, but she saw the shine in my eyes watching the X Division was I believe that was on at
Yeah.
the time when we were watching. She's kept it on and watched, and I've been watching Impact ever since. I think I've watched Impact Wrestling more than WWE at the time because I had a little stint being away, and I
Mhm.
watched Impact way more.
Mhm. Yeah. That's why Impact was such a big such a big day for it was really, and they were
It
doing a lot
was
of house shows, and they were doing a lot of house shows. That's like I was saying, I was been to a couple of house shows, and it's like wow, like, and then they stopped that.
I I didn't like that, but I
Hmm.
understood why.
Hmm.
Like came to Monroe, Louisiana a few times. I got to take a picture with Kurt Angle, which is my favorite picture, and then
Hmm.
Hernandez.
Hmm.
And thankfully, in the TV taping in Nashville, Hernandez was there, and I was like, "Wow, you're still really massive."
Yeah, yeah, it's always good to see him when he's teaming with Homicide. Him and Homicide together,
And the
even if they're
border
not even,
toss.
even if they're not on a TNA show, at a house show, like at a local independent show. It's really. And
I
I've
I
seen
like it.
them. I've seen them like at Jersey All Pro and Homicide, of course, being a native of New York and Jersey All Pro. So he was like he still is like a legend to them. It's
Mhm.
pretty cool.
But I think Hernandez, like, when
Mm,
it came down to just his raw strength and power, because we all saw
mm,
Keith Lee throw uh, no, I forgot. When Keith Lee made his debut on AEW and
Oh,
just chunks
Isaiah Cassidy.
Isaiah Cassidy, my bad,
Yes,
uh,
Private Party. Private Party.
private party. When he
Under
chunked him
under
up that
uh,
air, my first thought
under
was like,
under Matt Hardy, of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
My first thought was like, man, Hernandez and everybody else, like, you see all those people that tossed people.
Mhm.
I, I think Hernandez and Keith have like the two most raw power to toss them like that. Because the border toss was just
That was a crazy move. Yeah.
unreal.
Yes. You see that with Keith Lee and also Shane Mercer. Shane Mercer can do it. Oh God, he could launch people farther than you can. I've seen it when he first stepped in the ring with Eli Everfly at the Atlantic City GCW show one time. You know, he tossed him right over a wall.
I remember my first time seeing him. He picked up a whole
bleacher.
And
yes, I saw that.
On the ladder, and I was like,
Yeah.
that is such freakish strength and power. Like the fact that no one has tried to sweep him off and take him like Impact is like, I'm like, that's a crime. That is a crime, because you could have him and Hernandez have a toss off.
Three-way toss off. Three-way toss off now.
Yeah, like
or even, gosh, or even bring back KTB as well. Shout out to him, because he's one of those guys that can toss people. Yeah,
oh my God.
The beast. Yeah, he's just crazy. Power behind them. Power behind. Just like that. That's like the Ultimate Warrior back in the day. You know, just like the body lift, press, and just, you know, you had all those guys that would do that. The British Bulldog, or, you know, like, man.
Who do you think like it was the most impressive to see gorilla press someone in the air and just let them just hang like that?
Probably like Hogan. Probably had to been Hogan. But I don't know, but maybe
I think Lex Luger, because him and I believe Sting would be probably one of the only, I believe a lot of times, when a guy just hits the ropes and comes back and he just picks him up from there. I know some guys like Shane Mercer will just pick up with one arm, and that's way more impressive.
That's
honestly.
I know. I wonder how much weight that is between lifting up the weights that he does every day, and then the wrestler's weight as well. You know, it's like, wow, that's more than you know. That's like just massive.
I wouldn't be shocked if this diet involves a 5-pound dumbbell for breakfast.
And guess what? Guess what, Brandon? We're going to have another guest. My friend Everett Lee of the Everett Lee Show is joining us right now.
All right.
Meet the podcast. This is Brandon Wolfie.
Hi.
What's up? Hey, David, read your messages. I've been messaging you for 10 minutes.
Yeah?
You look down. Your messages. I've been hitting you up. I even wrote in the chat, and I want to give a shout out to everyone watching tonight, man.
Go ahead.
I'm like, David, Brandon, I would have been on earlier, but I had a podcast on Tuesday that needed a heavy edit.
Oh, you're good, man. Well, my phone died because it overheated, so now I have the phone kind of
everybody
cold air through.
Everybody's
had kind of been all against us today.
Yeah, I had a podcast on Tuesday night, and I had two guests on at the same time. My one guest, he was having technical difficulties, and
hey, Everett, do me one
in
favor.
the show, he pretty much was like,
turn your volume down, Everett. Turn your volume down a little. Turn your volume down a hair.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're like, oh,
how about now?
Go ahead, talk.
Can you hear me?
Yes, good.
All
You're
right.
like, yes. But anyway.
Yeah,
Everett Lee, meet Brandon. So, yeah, go ahead.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing good, man.
So we're just talking about Everett. We were just talking about I'm sure you heard us talking about the gorilla press, the arm press. Who do you remember growing up? You know, that had that power. Like, you know, we were just talking about.
Oh man, who
was the most impressive doing it in your eyes? Because Shane Mercer with one arm would just
can do. He has a lift, the power. Keith Lee, we were saying.
Keith Lee. I would have to say
Hernandez. We we were talking about Hernandez.
That's a good question because there's so many I could think of back in the 80s there and 90s that could do that really good. I actually liked. Yeah, this is going to be. I'll probably get ridiculed for this one though, but I liked how Goldberg did his the gorilla press. I for some reason back in the day watching WCW, I liked how he did that. But beforehand, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head back in the day.
When people talk about impressive, like the one thing is like everyone remembers how they all press them up, but people can recall about their favorite gorilla press spot or gorilla press moment. Mine's Bam Bam Bigelow tossing Spike Dudley in the crowd.
Shit.
Bam Bam, Beast from the East, baby. Brandon, Candace says, "Hey, Wolfie."
That was earlier.
Hello,
Wolf.
Oh, hi, Candace.
Yep, it popped up on the chat right here. And Dustin says, a few months ago, you worked with Impact. Oh, you already talked about that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm behind here tonight.
But I think the coolest moment about that was I had the opportunity for it, and the management. There were when I got back, getting the guy that was trying to get them food. The funniest thing happened, which was he went to them after the show and it's like, "Hey, can I get a picture of Brandon?" They're like, "Oh, he's gone." So he left accidentally, and they came. And when I came back with Josh with the food, they're like, "We just want you to know someone want to take a picture with you." And we have to break it down to him. We're so sorry. I'm like, it's cool.
Yeah.
They were very cool. It was awesome. It was just like I said, it was an awesome experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember watching. I know you said you watch Impact a lot. I watch Impact on Pluto TV. They got a 24/7 Impact channel on Pluto TV. They show the Asylum years a lot on there. Well, every once in a while, I'll do like a marathon of that. They pretty much show a lot of the pay-per-views and matches on there. I'll catch myself sitting there watching Pluto TV, watching Impact channel just to watch to see what's going on. And I picked the wrong time of the night to watch it. At the end of the night, I'll kick back on the couch. Like, what am I watching? Oh, Impact. Let's watch it. I don't make it, man, because I'm so wore out. You ever pick something to watch at the last part of the day, and then you're out, man.
Oh man, that's any Royal Rumble match. That's any thing that it has like a long match to it, and you just kind of doze off real fast. You're like, oh, it's like, oh, like those Iron Man matches, and like if like the one match I can never get through without watching I can't watch the entire thing is Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart WrestleMania Iron Man match. I can't get through it every time. I'm like, not that I'm sleeping through it. It's just like the chin lock can be a really good way to buy time, like any hold. But if that's your constant thing you're gonna do is holds, like I'll put myself on the guilty list when I did my Iron Man match in Grindhouse with Cash Jackson. I had some holds in it, but we had a lot of selling and a lot of hard hitting and moves that told what we were doing very proudly. And
that's
it's my favorite match.
That's like you were telling me, Brandon. That's like earlier you were telling me, like Kenta in Noah, hard hitting and strong style.
I think in him and I apologize again his name, Nakajima. His matches and Noah were just awesome, and they could be 45 minutes with just entrances being 10 and the rest of the match, it's awesome. You see the emotion, you feel everything, even though they're probably hitting each other like legit hard hitting, so they might have a broken nose or something. You get so attached to it because you're invested. When I wrestle, I want to have that same investment. I want them to feel what I do. I want them to feel that I'm hurt. I want them to feel that I am. And a lot of times I am. I would like to put myself if I'll take a hit and I'll take a fall if I know how to have those people make sense and have it tell it what we're doing is perfect for the moment.
Let me ask you this. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't mean to cut you off, David, though, but you got the chat's on fire tonight. I got to say that, man. Everyone
That's
viewing
good.
Deathmatch Wrestle podcast. Candace had another question.
Yes.
She wanted to know, how does it feel to finally teaming up with Cash Jackson? How's that finally feel?
Oh, that's amazing because I've known Cash Jackson for 4 years and legit, and this is not a lie. Since I've been back into because of the pandemic, I was away. I didn't have a lot of the opportunities because of work and everything. And I had a friend that passed away a week before the pandemic, so I was just in a dark place. I got myself in a bad situation of roommate wise, to where I regretted everything, even trying to move in. In May of 2021, I was getting back into wrestling, and I was happy, and going through all these fair loops in Kentucky is fun. And Cash Jackson and I were wrestling each other quite a good bit, and it was 15, 20-minute matches that were tiling the draws, including one that was outside in the blazing sun where the ring was cooking our skins alive. There was still a no winner. And you can find these matches on YouTube on Cash Jackson's channel. In Grindhouse Pro Wrestling, when I started going, and I love that place. Kevo was my first match. I didn't beat Kevo, but there was always in that round 2.
Right.
And then the next show, me and Cash Jackson are in the ring. Time limit draw. Next show, time limit draw. Next show, time limit draw. 5 extra minutes, and each match is going longer. And 5 minutes, still no winner. So we're having this 30-minute Ironman match, and it's hard. It's a hitting match. Like, we're making everything in 8 months of over 2 hours of no winning matches of no winner come together, and it's just, now it's like, okay, if we're doing all this stuff to each other, imagine how much we would be as a team doing everything we've done to each other to others.
Right.
Imagine the drive we would have trying to beat each other. Imagine us working together to take people to their limits and run.
Excuse me, division. May I disappear for a minute? I shall be back.
Yeah.
Nope.
I want to take over the tag team division with Cash and put tag team wrestling on the map in the arena for Grindhouse. That is my goal right now. Is I want to run that tag team division with Cash and prove we are really good as a unit.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I've seen Grindhouse. I've seen the promotion on WTV. There's a lot of promotions I've been wanting to check out on IWTV because they offer so much content on there. Do you watch IWTV? Do you, whenever you get time or with your schedule or anything, do you ever get a chance to jump on there and watch and check out wrestling from different promotions on there?
Not as much. I get some bits and pieces.
Right.
Some people can find me in the on IWTV probably, because I was in IWA Mid-South Wrestling
right.
for a little bit, and thankfully a few of the matches I'm very proud of is on there. My first one being with Braden Lee and Tyler Matrix, Ronnie Roberts. Like, there's a lot that I'm very proud of that's really on there. Ace Perry, and that match with Ace Perry really helps me in a real position, because I had been working with guys, and I just wanted to be more of this creative style and be more unpredictable and be good and show I can do all these things that people maybe not think of. Like, we all seen the Three Amigos with the suplexes. I always wanted to do the Three Amigo arm drag, but I wanted them to be different, where I do American style, Japanese style, and the third one is a Japanese style by flipping with the motion, landing in position for the arm lock, landing in position for something. Think of it as a Spanish fly, but it's the Japanese arm drag version.
Oh, nice. I like that. I like that.
Ace Perry was the first one to do it with. Ronnie Roberts was the best, the absolute best. I have footage of it, and I love looking at that every time because I love Ronnie.
Right.
and
right. Exactly. You do got some more questions coming in here on the chat tonight, Brandon. I'm going to read off a couple more here. Got another one from Candace here. We'll start with her, and then the next one here. Candace says, "Who's your dream opponent you'd want to wrestle soon?" And Dustin asked, "Who is your dream tag team opponent for you and Cash?" We'll start with Candace's question first, and Dustin's.
My dream opponent for years, because I got to know and I had some chances to see our names getting across each other on the card, but I didn't see it happen due to reasons, was Chase Stevens.
Okay.
I loved Chase Stevens to the very beginning with. He's been helpful in ways. I respect the man. And when I was needing some help, needing some tips, and talking to people after shows, he'll always be the one, we'll go to the bar and just talk to me and make me feel very welcomed when at times I didn't feel like I didn't know where I belonged in the place.
Right.
And he was really cool. Another one is I would like to have a match, and it sounds I knew him before he made his jump to GCW, Blake Christian and Cole Braddock's. Blake Christian, me and him knew each other from USA Championship Wrestling for Burt Prentice. God bless his soul, because he passed away recently. And it was always cool to be around Blake. I think we are real awesome to see how much we've changed since then. It's amazing what he's done in the past few years, and it'd be a blessing and an awesome opportunity to have that chance to show the growth that I've had compared, just like him.
Right. That's
tag team wise. Tyler Matrix and Logan James.
nice. Not bad. And everyone's tuning in tonight, man. They're asking questions. If you feel you ask a question, go ahead. Feel free. Shoot it off in the chat, and Brandon will answer your question, man. And this is
keep them respectful. And the one thing I love to do in wrestling, this is what I learned with being around Dick the Bruiser, Damian Wayne, Chase, and other people. And that in my trainer, the person that trained me was his name's Christian James or James Carter, and he's awesome. I learned feeling the crowd, just walking, talking, and I love just feeling the moment. A lot of times people like to plan out or just kind of think of what they want to do and try. And I like to just feel the crowd, because when the crowd is into it and you can feel what they like and feel what they don't like, change it up, you get that raw emotion compared to trying to do all the stuff you think of in the back.
All right, nice. We have another question here from Dustin here. He wants he's saying people at work are watching with me, so they're asking through me. That's fine, man. That is fine, Dustin. Just have them ask you a question, and we'll get it right to Brandon here. David, chat's on fire tonight, man.
It's smoking, and I was
man. This is great.
No wonder my phone's been burning up.
Your phone's burning up, man. You are hot, Brandon Wolfe, right now.
Brandon, when I stepped away, I was hearing you talk about you and Christian Blake, and I know that Blake name Christian. Really, Blake Christian, really good. One of those people that are just unbelievable to see in the ring. Yeah,
there's so many. Me and Blake have had 2 matches with each other, 1 singles match and 1 tag team match, and I don't have a lot of chances to see my mom now. I probably see her 4 to 3 times a year, and there's very rare moments that she'll come see me wrestle, and I'm very happy. Not just her, but my grandpa, her dad, got the chance to see me wrestle 3 nights a week, and one of those nights was for Burt Prentice, and it was with Blake Christian, and I was very happy about that match. It could have been better in the beginning. I think I made some few slips or did something, but the longer the match went, the better it got, and the more fluent and chemistry there was. And I want to go back and I want to make things right, and I want to really show how much this changed since then, including the tag team match we had. The tag team match was awesome. We had probably a few good, maybe a solid 2 minutes of total of ring time together. I want to put more in, I want it. It's something I feel like it will be really awesome to happen.
Nice. Candace put out there, she said, not a question. We'll throw this up here, but you are awesome, Wolfie, you are awesome.
He is. He's one of those guys that you just want to say hello and hang out with all the time.
Yeah, very chill individual. It's always something. You never know what you're gonna hear me say, but I think that's due to just I'm just very open book, and I love just to talk in a way to where everyone can understand and get the groove. It's like Vincent said in the Ring of Honor. You dig what I'm saying? And just talk with that voice. And Vincent, I love Vincent in Ring of Honor. And just there's just a factor I think I have that people just attract to. Because even when I'm a heel, even when I'm a bad guy, people just attract to that bad guy. They look at me like that I'm a puppy. Like, oh, he's so bad, but yet so cute.
Candace wants to know.
Go ahead. Take it away, Everett. Go ahead. No,
right.
Go ahead.
Candace wants to know, what does your tattoo mean?
I actually have a few. This is, I gotta get it done a little more. It's for my niece, Azurth Rain Wolfe. This is a tribal wolf tattoo that there's a rose on my shoulder. There you go. And that is for my niece, Elliot Rose Wolfe. I have a whole wolf thing because my family is wolves, and got a paw print up here. But I work with a camera right there.
Nice.
Kind of family. And my key, it has blue puzzle pieces because blue is the color of autism used for the month of April. And they always assign puzzle pieces with autism. And I look at it as my key to motivation because I've had to power through a lot. When I was born, doctors kind of gave me the no hope kind of thing. I wouldn't be able to walk that great. I wouldn't be able to speak in general. If I did, I would have a robotic voice. So I went through years and years of physical and vocal therapy with wrestling helping me get through it. They kept telling me I would have bad social skills. And I grew to have a sensory defensiveness where all my tastes and all my senses would just be negatively reactive. I couldn't even have ice cream until I just got over the fear of the texture of my body freaking out.
Everett, do you have any tattoos, Everett, as well?
No. Me and my wife, we talked about getting a tattoo of
this is the only one I have.
Oh, nice. I didn't even know you had one, David. And as long as I've known you, you keep it covered up. Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yingling wrapped in barbed wire. Just symbol of positivity, you know. Just...
Me and my wife, we talked about getting a tattoo after we lost her son. We thought about getting his. I thought about getting it on his initials on my wrist or on the back of my shoulder blade or someplace or underneath, just his initials, because we talked about that, just to have something in memory of our son that we lost. So we've thrown that around quite a bit and stuff. But when I come to tattoos, because in the past I've had ex-girlfriends in the past say, we should get tattoos together. And I'm like, no, because I was like, what if it don't work out? And they're like, of course it's going to work out. And then a year later we separate. That's the one thing I don't want to get dragged into. But
that's what this one is. My girlfriend pretty much offered me on Halloween. She messaged me, convinced me not to get a tattoo, and it was Halloween, so I just kind of went, well, what's the sale? And I heard $30 a tattoo, and I said, let's get matching tattoos. And we didn't get matching in a way, but we got clouds that had eyes in them, and I got mine to be for my niece. because I can't have Rose and Rain kind of have an argument who's the better, more favorite niece of mine based off the tattoo of a rose, and there's not one of Rain.
Do you remember when wrestling used to be so popular with the tattoos? Like WWF back in the day, WCW. You see, and people would just show off their tattoos of
Who's one of your favorite tattoos?
Oh man,
I can tell you mine. It's easy. You want to think about it, David, for just a minute? Why I say mine? It might, or that's a hard one, ain't it, for you, David? because you like so much, with tattoos and
I'd have to say Mick Foley.
Mick Foley.
I've seen a Mick Foley tattoo that's really good. Go ahead, Everett.
Mine would be, of course, the dead man Undertaker. I like his. I like Undertaker's, and I like Randy Orton's, believe it or not, because he didn't have anything, and then he had got the skulls on the arms. I like that for some reason. I think that's pretty cool. But,
wasn't there a story behind Undertaker putting his name there under his neck?
No, it wasn't his. It wasn't his. It was his wife's name, Sarah.
Ex-wife's name. Yeah. He
had to cover that up.
Yeah. Now,
right,
David. Brandon got some more questions firing off in the chat here.
My favorite is the back piece of Killer Cross back piece.
That's awesome. Yeah, he has some good tats there.
Yeah, it's when I first saw him in Impact, my first thing is that is a stone cold killer. If you could imagine someone from a video game that would be like this boss, it's a final boss battle. It was him. I was like, that's the guy. He is everything you fear, and you could have done so much with him. There's so much to do with that, and I don't know how you couldn't do anything with it when he brought him up to the main roster was crap, because how you mess that up, and they're like, hold my beer, hold my wine, hold my millions. Not Impact, Raw.
Yeah, Raw.
Yeah. Dustin asked, what's your favorite wrestling story? And then after that, got two more from Candace here. She's throwing it in the chat here.
Everett's the question guy tonight. Take over the questions.
All right, I'll take. Why don't we tag team this, David? Because they're coming in, man, faster than I keep up with.
I know.
For this,
let's tag team this. Don't brand it out.
Yeah. My favorite story is, there's not very many stories that I have, but there's probably a road story. The favorite road story.
I was going to say one of my friends asks that on her podcast. That's pretty cool. Yeah, go ahead.
My favorite road story is I was with Cash Flow and Billy the P. We were supposed to go to Knoxville, Tennessee, and wrestle at Kapow. And the day prior, or the going, he's like, "Well, Brandon, we want you to know that we're thinking about going to Boomersville, Kentucky, for AMW, Avalation Mountain Wrestling, and you want to go with us still?" I was like, "Yeah, we'll go. Yeah, I'll go." So I get off work, we go down, we make it to the show, and as soon as the show's over, we had the opportunity to go okay, drive an hour and a half there, then drive 3 hours to Knoxville, or drive to Knoxville overnight. We chose to drive to Knoxville overnight, get a motel, and kind of enjoy Knoxville for the morning and leading up to the show. And it was a really cool experience in Knoxville. We went to a great pizza place, and then the show happens. The Tate twins are there, the Ugly Ducklings, and a lot of people that I really like. Shane Andrews is my first time meeting him. My first time seeing Aaron Williams, and going back to the dream match question, Aaron Williams is one of my dream matches. Like, to show how good
Aaron's.
you are
I'll tell you
is
what,
him.
Aaron is one of those guys that's is is a
Aaron
is
is
a
unbelievable.
yeah.
It's just simply that he's unbelievable. When he gets in that ring, you do not know what you're gonna see him do because he's just that good. You're just gonna be walking away being amazed and getting like, I got everything in my ticket and more with his match.
Right.
And I want to show how good I can be to the man that's unsigned and doesn't care.
Yeah,
Nice.
and he's had a lot of matches over the years. And you go back to like watching like Rockstar Pro to IWA Mid South, and
Yeah.
just to see. And you actually have worked with a couple of the IWA shows as well.
Yeah. I had the pleasure going down in January, I believe 2nd, 2019. Jake Chris was supposed to be there, and he was supposed to wrestle Braden Lee. And I'm good he's better now, but Jake got into a car accident. So it led to who's going to wrestle Braden. They could bring somebody down from this 6-man scramble, but Amazing Marie looked and said, give it to the kid. Give it to him. And
Nice.
I don't do a lot of flips now. Back then I was known for doing all these flips where, one of the things I would do is if I swept your leg, you get out. But when you try to sweep my legs, I do a back handspring or backflip to avoid it, leading to whichever, a side headlock, a drop kick, taunting, whatever it could be. But that's how I would use my ability to my advantage in matches, is I wanted to flow.
Right.
So Braden and I'm very happy about the match. Very proud how he's doing. He's doing awesome. And I went back the next week. I was wrestling Jacobs, the sauciest man alive. And then after that match was the match that changed my whole thing for perception of what I'm going to be capable of doing in the ring, is Ace Perry. It was supposed to be Larry D, but Larry D pulled his hamstring, and he wanted to take that time to heal because he was fixing to be ready to debut with Impact. And Larry D sadly couldn't be there. Love to have the match today because of how much I've changed my style and everything. But at that moment, I feel like even at that, I wasn't ready for Larry. But they gave me Ace Perry. And Ace Perry and I had a match where I was very happy. I got to do things that I couldn't do in other matches. It was a match where I could finally have someone, I can say, oh, can I try this? And not saying, like, the people I've had prior were not like, oh, let's not do that. It's like I was always afraid to ask that question because they're always 10, almost 20 years ahead of me as a veteran. I just, ears open, mouth shut most of the time. But when I could pitch an idea, I would just try to pitch it in the moment and just feel and see if it doesn't make sense or does it not. So the things I did was the triple arm drag, which I explained was a 3-arm drag that was an American style, a Japanese style, and another Japanese where I do a flip in motion, land in arm lock, or can go over for cover or go over for submission, leads to whatever can come to mind. And then a sling blade backstabber, a sling blade backstabber. I go all the way around. I don't think I see a lot of people do that, so I wanted to try it first and see. And then after that,
you always want to invent your moves. You always want to think of something you can,
and put your own twist to it because everyone does a missile drop kick, and this is on New South Action Plus episode 2. I'm wrestling Shoot Taylor, and we're the first match of the show. And the whole show's really good, but we're the first match, and you can, in the match, you see two things that I do, and that is a missile drop kick, where I do a hot shot, sitting down against the ropes, where my body's kind of the top rope's here. I'm sitting the middle rope. When I grab you, when I fall back, I'm hot shotting into the top rope. That gives me distance. That gives me the space and time to go up the top rope, gain my balance, and jump off and do a missile drop kick where I'm hitting you. And when I plant my feet, I'm gonna make my distance to land on my feet. They fall on their backs. I'll land right on my feet.
Everett's a big fan of the New South.
Yeah, I love New South. I love Derek Neal. I was around.
Derek Neal.
Derek Neal's.
He's great, man.
He's been around me since day one. Since day one of me wrestling, he's always been around, and I had the pleasure during the pandemic to train with him a little bit and do and have one of my favorite matches that not a lot of people know with him, and it's awesome how he's doing, and I'm so thrilled to see everyone gaining all this stuff around, and it makes me really excited for what they can be doing and where they're going.
Yeah, it's amazing, because I will throw this out here that one of my favorite New South matches was Adam Priest versus John Gresham, the ROH Heavyweight Championship match. Man, I like Adam Priest. That's another one I like, man. Adam Priest, it's just, he has this distinct, like, just characteristic about him, man. He goes in there and he works, man. I love his in-ring work. I love how he carries himself in the ring. And when I watched the special that came on a few weeks ago there, not Action Class, Southern, why am I forgetting?
The Tuesday night show, that airs on Tuesday.
It was the show that they streamed on IWTV. You had New South there, you had Southern Honor there, you had 4 promotions there. You know what I'm talking about, where they had action wrestling there. It was an Action Wrestling's building where they do action wrestling in Georgia there. It's where AC Mack won the IWTV Heavyweight Championship against Alex. That event right there, when the match Adam Priest had, I don't know why I'm forgetting this. I watched this a few weeks ago, and I was just like, marked the hell out of this, because it was great. It was great. Independent wrestling is the best that independent wrestling can get, because they packed that little building, and everyone, man, they raised everyone's that had a match. If the bar was here, by the end of the match, they raised it. And I walked away from that, and I just love that. That's the thing I loved about that show. It was one of those shows that you can sit back and enjoy. I can watch it again and still love, everything that goes on in the ring. But New South, I discovered New South after I got IWTV, and I was telling David, I said, David, you got to check out this promotion in Alabama. He's like, what's that? I said, New South. And he's like,
and it's funny, because I talked to a lot of wrestlers who, there's like a guy who, Nasty Leroy from the, Nasty Leroy, he's wrestled at New South so many times as an extra, goes there and wrestles. But Donnie Janela is another one of those guys that's pretty known, through the Game Changer scene of them, as well.
Yeah, Donnie Janela.
Speaking of New South, I knew about New South during that Knoxville trip, because that's where I met Cabana Bandana.
Oh, Cabana Cabana Dan. Yeah, Cabana Man Dan.
You like Cabana Dan, David?
He was great.
He was cool. I saw the belt. I saw the New South belt there, and it was just massive.
It's
And I
giant.
was like,
Yeah.
He's
I was like-
little. It's big. It's took me a while because when I started watching New South, I just couldn't get into the character. But then when he won the championship, then I get it because there's been some workers that when I'm seeing the stuff, it's hard for me to say, hey, I love what they're doing, and then I have to watch them for a while. They gotta
and you gotta see the character change because he went from being clean cut to looking like he was like Tom Hanks, and
I love what he's doing.
I think called Castaway, and like all he's like his like it's like he changed from one day like clean cut, real smile to like grizzled, and like he came out survival way to fight. Anything that moves, and it's just wicked to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got some. You got some more questions here in the chat here. They fired off here, and I just want to say sorry if we haven't got to your question yet, though. But conversation's been so great here tonight, man. With jumping in here on Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast, David.
Unexpectedly. No.
Well, you called me. I've seen that. I was in the middle of heavy editing. When I get in my I know, David. Once you know me, dude. Once I get into my work, I get into it, man. It's like I cut the world out, and then
I know you do.
I have to get up, and I'm like, oh shoot.
Like last night. You were really. Yeah, like last night, I called you, and you were just like getting ready to. You were just bit in pieces, trying to get yourself going. But tonight, yeah, it's always fun to. Everett likes to join It's fun having more conversation with 3 people than 2 people sometimes, because it carries on, and you can have more fun laughing.
Oh yeah, Candace asked, have you ever decided to bring a wolf in one of your matches with you?
No.
Well, actually, no. Tracy Smothers has wrestled a bear. We've seen that in the past.
Yeah. But let Brandon explain himself, David. I want to hear this. I want to hear this, man.
No,
that's a question. I got to hear this.
Curious. Yeah.
Like if it was like if it was like New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom, or a really big night where I can have something like that, absolutely. But as of now, no. You're asking me to have an untamed animal, probably, that could probably be well trained, walking out and hoping to everything. He does not do anything drastic. So we don't have a repeat of Kennel of Hell. We don't have a repeat of anything. I would love it to be like Scott Steiner walking down with a tiger. But like big old chains around it, or just let the hound, like the wolf, just roam around, and we just kind of be like as one. But I was like, I hope you don't. I hope you're just kind.
Dustin wants to know, is there anything during the pandemic that you can say you're better at now that you weren't so good at before?
Chain wrestling and technical style. There's a lot that people kind of look at in wrestling. I love Dean Malenko, William Regal. I loved watching the chain wrestling, even the quick pacing like Dynamite Kid and Tiger Mask. There's a lot of styles of chain wrestling that people kind of look aside. Even the simplest part is a drop down. The drop downs, you can do so much with it. And the one thing I put on my story, and I really like the moment of, is someone did a drop down, and I did a gate. I stopped myself, and I do a gator roll. And when I do the gator roll, I transition it straight into the Muda lock.
Oh, nice. I like that. I like that. All right. since we're talking about moves, I'll ask you, Brandon. You were talking about the gorilla press earlier. Favorite move, favorite wrestling move you like seeing execute in the ring? Which just a move. What's your favorite move?
My favorite move I love seeing executed is oh God, you're asking me. I love when I see a good chop. It's
Chop.
striking wise, a good chop. Move wise, I love seeing a perfectly executed suplex, perfectly executed backdrop. Anything that's like so simple can get it going. If you're talking about finisher, I love seeing Finn Balor's Blaze Sunday or the 1960.
1916, I think it is. Or am I
Yeah.
thinking of Motorhead there? Yeah, 1916. David, what's your favorite move? What's your favorite move and finisher?
Man, there's so many. I'll have to say, like the Pepsi plunge,
Okay.
or also the Boston Crab, the way that they hold that Boston Crab in.
Yeah, that's painful, man. That is painful. It kills the lower back there. Mine,
the submission move. I love the Muda lock.
Muda lock. Yeah,
I
Muda
love
lock.
it because it's such a straight up. It's like a tarantula kind of getting a hold of you.
Yeah. If I would have to say submission, Scorpion Deathlock Sting. That's my man right there. Sting.
Mm-hmm.
Scorpion Deathlock submission. Favorite move is from Jake the Snake Roberts, DDT. I just like it when he slaps him on the back and boom, just drop. I just love DDT. It's just that quick. And like Jake would say, it's like I can hit you with the DDT anytime. I just love that, how he delivered that in his promos. And
I have a
finisher. I would have to say my favorite finisher is going to have to be from the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Nothing comes out of nowhere with a kick to the gut and drop you on your chin there, and that's the bottom line. Because that's I just love how he executes it, man. Kick in the gut, and it's automatic response. Because you get kick in the gut, you're gonna bend over, just grab their head and just stun them. But those are mine right there. Bo Dillon, he wants to know, how long have you been wrestling?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years. I started training in October 4th, 2017. My first official match in front of the crowd was in January 16th, 2018. And I started wrestling a lot. I started wrestling almost every weekend. The only time I stopped wrestling weekend-wise or month-wise was when the pandemic happened. And when that happened, like I said, I was in a dark place. I lost someone very close to me before the pandemic happened. That was also a roommate. So I kind of was in that dark environment. And I didn't have a lot of places to go because when you're in Bowling Green, Kentucky, you're always so far away and you can't really risk a lot of things because it's an unknown. Like, unless you were making a name for yourself before the pandemic happened, it was so difficult to try to make a living or going out there. You have to take a lot of risk, and I didn't have that risk. I didn't have that very thing. I didn't have funding. I didn't have a lot of things. I didn't have a lot of pull because everybody was in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2020 was pretty bad, man. I mean, wasn't it, David?
Yes, but Brandon, also don't forget you had video games.
Oh yeah, we had the yes, we did.
Had the video games to bring yourself.
I had Hulu watching Dark Side of the Ring every day.
Wow. I remember watching that during the pandemic because remember, David, when you were still working and I wasn't. Remember when I got furloughed from my job? He called me up one day. Yeah, he called me up, Brandon, one day. He video chat me. Me and David video chat quite a lot through the week. And he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he's like, "What's that look on your face for?" And I'm like, "Man,
I got fired.
Well, not fired, but I mean, it felt like it, but it was just furloughed for 73 days. And Dave, what I was down with a lot. And I'd have to say there was 3 people that contacted me a lot through 2020, which David was one of them. Harley Fairfax from FGW, Future Great Wrestling. She reached out to me to make sure I was all right. And my best friend, Chris Carnage. Without those 3, I wouldn't have actually really made it through the pandemic. And of course, well, actually, let's throw Robin Nelson in there because he just having all 4 of them just talk to me, just Harley messaging me, David video chat me, and Chris called me up, and it was
Everett's date is a Daytona person. He's in Florida.
Yep.
Can I put a name in a hat? Because when I went through my dark place, one person started to get me comfortable out in public and start training, and that was the superior Tony Evans. You've probably seen with Derek Neal and New South, and
yes,
quite a bit in OVW. Is Tony reached out to me a random day and said, "Hey man, do you want to come train?" And because I was in the apartment alone for 3 months. I was going one place, going back. I was hearing silence. The one thing I have left of that was his, because he was part of the Navy, and I have his family's blessing, and I'm thinking about doing it March 12th in Cabrera High School for UCW, is I'm going to be wearing the Navy pants as tribute to him and dedicating the match to Robbie.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
As a way to give respect, and it may be about 2 years overdue, but it's something that I plan to do it in Bowling Green, and this is the closest I've gotten to since. And now, as I want to honor what I said. I even cut my hair from being long to real short for him because he wanted my hair cut for so long. So during his memorial, I cut my hair.
Wow.
So, but
Dustin,
him and Derek Neal, because Derek Neal also was training with me and helping me get through all the bad times, along with my coach calling me, and we just kind of talked, and we just those select people were just very helpful.
You always have to have somebody in your corner. Everybody always needs that special someone. Yeah.
You do. You definitely do. You have to have that. You have to have that special someone. Dustin wants to know, what was it like moving from Louisiana to Kentucky to follow your dream?
Scary.
Scary.
Because I was leaving a lot of things behind. I was leaving my family behind. I was leaving an opportunity, because I had a full run scholarship at college that I was leaving. And I didn't enjoy college. I was miserable. There was things going on family-wise that I wasn't really happy about. And at my brother's wedding in Florida, in Clearwater, I was offered by my dad to come live with him in Kentucky, because there's a school known as, in Franklin, Kentucky, New South Championship Wrestling. And you can reach out, see how much it costs, and when you move, you can get a job and pay it off, get a car, drive, and you just live your dream. And I thankfully had that opportunity. I had to come down. I worked at Cracker Barrel as a dishwasher, and I was working hours and hours and hours without any breaks, and so I was killing myself. And
right
when I got the money, I did everything before, because Kentucky is a very much of a licensed state, very strict, by the way, by the commission.
Yes. They are. They are. You have to have a license.
I made sure I did everything right. The one thing that I forgot that I was not known about was the promotion you will be doing business with or training at. It's on the physical sheet.
Mhm.
The doctors are trying to find things wrong with me, and they couldn't. They're like, "Is there anything wrong with you? Like, there's no background to this, no this, that. Like,
Yeah.
you seem like a perfect health. Like, what are you? I have autism. Done. You're
Mm.
perfect. You're healthy. You're clear." So I put down new stuff. My coach, uh, James Carver, he knew I was messaging him and I was reaching out. He didn't hear from me for about a month, and he gets a random phone call from Tim Gonerman. And Tim Gonerman, I love Tim Gonerman because he really helped me out get into some doors. He said, "Do you know this Brand Wolf kid?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I heard from Master. Like, we put you down." I was like, "Oh, I'll go check on him." God dang it. And called and I started training, and my first night it was good. It was a good like my first night. I was really happy, excited, but you had to calm me down because I was thinking of so many things to do. Like, what if I do this? And I was like, let's do the basics first, and then we go from there. And it was very
Did you?
much a pleasing moment. I was doing nothing strictly but basics before moving on to the next thing that I
What
want to
happened?
do.
Let me ask you this, Brandon. What happens when you go to a show, you go and it says, "Sorry, we're not going to use you tonight." What do you feel like after? I'm sure that ticks you off because you drive all that distance
Yeah.
to a right? You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's a good.
I haven't had that happen yet. The only thing I've had is driving with people to shows
Mm.
and not knowing the opportunity of wrestling or not. Like I drove with Damian
Yeah.
Wayne all the way, I believe, to AML,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't
Zach. Yeah.
promised a booking.
Yeah.
I love Damian Wayne, yeah, but and I went with Derek Neal to New South. I wasn't wrestling in AML or anything because
Mm.
even though I had my gear, I was really young. Their card was already booked. I understood. Drove with
Mm.
Rebecca Reese to, I believe, somewhere. I
Yeah.
believe in North Carolina. And I was a little distraught, a little bit, but I was known ahead of time by Frankie Chiasso.
Mm.
Really good talent, really good guy. People know him as Frankie Coverdale from Talking Shop Mania and
Mm.
and just and Impact, and he's awesome. He let me know prior there may not be a chance. Well, I still went down, met
Yeah.
Sarge, and had a real good time. Saw John Schuyler, and I love the wrestling. And that was my first time seeing the Ugly Ducklings before I
Mm.
wrestled them.
They are great
About
characters. Those guys are
oh,
awesome. I love them.
I
Shout out to all
I,
of them.
re-
Yeah.
I wrestled them in Knoxville. When that whole
Knox.
Knoxville story, I wrestled them in Knoxville because they were supposed to wrestle the Tate twins, but something went on. I think the Tate twins had a back problem, and one of them got so they needed a tag team. Me and Josh Cutshaw were there. When he came with two other guys. I came in with Cash and Billy, and they probably were going to use this originally, but they used this in this tag match. You could find it on YouTube for Kapow, and it's one of my favorite tag team matches because they were so awesome to be around and
Yeah.
awesome. And it was an absolute pleasure having ring time with Rod, like
Mm.
Killer Rod, Rob
Yeah.
Killjoy.
Rob Killjoy. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was awesome, and we'll love to have your next opportunity about that. I'll love to have another opportunity to be in the ring with him again, and have another chance to be with the Ugly Ducklings.
But back to what we were saying about our question, back, uh, you know, the ending of that thing we were talking about with the, being skipping the show, missing out on the
Oh,
show.
I
Yeah.
wasn't. I'm not very mad about. I don't get mad about that. The closest that ever happened was ASPW. I believe
Yeah.
I met Billy Starks. That show, I think 15 people showed up, and because it was supposed to be like 130, 100 or so, and I drove 4 hours, and the promoter brought us to a basketball court behind the locker room. No one could see us. And he said, "All right, guys, this is the deal. This situation. We have 15 people. The building screwed us over in rent and everything. They rose it up to 300 instead of 75, and they really screwed the guy. And
Right.
they were like, "Well, we have two options. We're gonna tell either the crowd that they can, go home, and I can give you guys what I can out of my pocket. I can't promise you much from what we originally talked about, or go out there and give them a show." There's a big circle of guys. One people I know, and I just went to the middle and said, "Man, I didn't drive 4 hours to not wrestle. I didn't drive 4 hours just to go home. I'm going to get my gear on, and I'm going to give these people a show. And I'll wrestle for an hour, 2 hours." I went out and drove 8 hours to Woodstock, Illinois, to wrestle Matt Vine in a 30-minute match in front of people, and we put our heart and soul in that match, and we gave them everything. So I'm going to do the same thing here. If you want to join me, come one, come all. If you don't, we understand. And no one backed out of the show. Everyone wrestled, and everyone put their hearts out there.
Everett's taken a drive before to a show because he's in Daytona, right? Everett, you took a drive one time to help out, do some promotion, behind the scenes stuff on camera.
I was pretty much was production for CFWE from January last year, from January to September, and I was green. I knew nothing except looking and figuring things out on my own for production for CFWE. No one came up and said, "Yeah, here's a book. Here's how you run production on a wrestling show." No one told me. As the months went on, the better everything went. I even edit the shows. I did the graphic design. I did it with another guy. He overseen everything, but he put everything on me. He's like, "Here's some stuff you could do like this and do this." And he guided me. I pretty much did that promotion. I revamped the logo for the promoter. I developed a really good relationship with the booker, Thump Dupree. He was great, former ROH Ring of Honor talent there, who had really great matches through his career. I even drove him to a couple of shows and got to hear stories about him wrestling Adam Cole, Samoa Joe, which was great. But doing the production side, I didn't know squat from shit when I did it, because I had no idea. And I had to learn that stuff on my own. And by the last show that we did, I think I hit my stride on putting a wrestling show together, because it just started becoming natural. It's like how I cut and edit a match and stuff, and I did it different. I stayed away from watching AEW, WWE. What I did was I watched promotions. I said, what promotions out there production wise, independent shows that catches my eye? I don't even look at WWE. Don't even look at AEW. What do I want to look at? And so I looked on IWTV and I started skimming through. And
Grindhouse. Grindhouse. I was telling Everett that the lighting was perfect, and just the way that the angles are set, and New South, of course. And
that's one of the promotions I discovered. I'm looking, and I was looking on social media, looking on Twitter, and I seen stuff for New South, and I said, let me see if they're on IWTV. And I looked them up, and I was like, okay. So I sat there and watched IWTV. I watched New South, and I was watching it from a fan's point of view and a production point of view. When I was watching from the production point of view, I said, dude, I like how they're doing that. I'm going to take that. So I took it. Okay. All right. Then I started going down, and I looked how the quality of Defy Wrestling out of Seattle was, the production value, what kind of cameras they're using. I said, I love that. I'm going to take that. So I got Defy Wrestling in New South, something from both of them that from production side caught my eye. I'll try that. And then I started going through, and I'm looking, and I seen Beyond Wrestling out of up in New England. I said, I like that there. I'm taking that. So I took all three of those things, New South, Defy, and Beyond Wrestling. And I also, actually, let's throw the fourth one in there, Southern Honor Wrestling. I'd seen that. I said, let me take that. So I took all four of those things. I threw them together, and I came up with a distinguished look, new logo, talking to the promoter, and pretty much how I cut a show and how I did the camera angles for CFWE. It took me 4 independent promotions to come up with it, to come up making that, promotion look like it did. And I didn't even have to watch Turn On WWE or AEW. To me, those 4 promotions are my 4 favorite promotions in independent wrestling. In the South, in the West, and up North, they're my favorite promotions there.
And also, you have that Go Pro Wrestling, or that one by you, of course, that you go once in a while.
Go Wrestling, dude.
Yeah,
they're not doing nothing anymore, man.
Yeah, they're closed. They're closed. Yeah.
I don't know what's up, man. Because I've not seen anybody just. I have not seen anything up on social media about it. I'd love to go to another Go Wrestle show. I loved it. It was not far from my house, but David, if you're not having a show and you're not promoting it, nothing's going on. When you have when you release a match card and a show and a time and a date, I'll be there. I'll look at the card and stuff. I mean, you do, Brandon. Talking about promotions. Let's see. Bo wants to know, do you have a dream promotion you want to go wrestle at, like WWE, AEW, Impact, or New Japan?
AEW, Impact, New Japan are easily the 3 that I would love the opportunity to go to. I've been in New South before, but I would love to go there again. Beyond Wrestling, Freelance, Warrior, AAW. And I know they're all. It's kind of like Warrior and AAW. I believe both in Chicago area. It's like Chicago's like a main town where a lot of shows are going.
Freelance wrestling.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of places like in Chicago. Like if you live in Chicago or close there, like you literally just have wrestling landscape variety in your area. NWA. They're doing shows, and I know they're doing shows in Oak Grove, Kentucky, which is about an hour away from me in Bowling Green. I'd like the opportunity just to go, and even if it's like an Impact thing where I just do an extra part, just experience what they've done, what they do, and just take what I can and learn from it. Another, I would say that those would be the top of the dream list so far. Because I've been in the IWA Mid-South. I went to OVW and wrestled there on and off for like.
I'll tell you what, OVW very good for people to get their just get their career in a good, and where they are. Like Amazing Maria's daughter, Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Hollywood. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, she'll maim you if you get it wrong.
I know.
But
yeah, Holly. Yeah, but she, just it's amazing what they're coming out of there. The product that they bring to the table for everybody.
Everyone will step up to a level. And I had the pleasure of figuring out how to work TV through OVW. And before my place where I trained at New South Junior Wrestling had a TV deal in WBKO. And I started to bring that to New South, and I started having a good time. I really enjoyed it. There's places I want to go to. Defy it's really good, but I believe way up Wisconsin or Washington, and I'm like,
well, like I said, East Coast. There's so many places you want to go.
There's
East
a
Coast.
lot. Game Changer Wrestling is
Titan Championship Wrestling, like my local promotion, and H2O, of course.
there's another place. There's another New South in Kentucky now. There's another New South in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm like, that's a really cool place to go to. I haven't been to Lexington yet. I would really like to go there. Paradigm, New Wave Pro.
Paradigm. Yeah, that's another one we hear a lot of. Yes.
They're doing shows in the arena on Fridays now in Jeffersonville, and I do something. We're up throughout the weekdays, and I get off at 2:30 on Friday, and just have a day to myself. I would not mind at all to make that drive to Jeffersonville when I have that free time.
Right. Yeah.
I was thinking so much like where we have trying to think of someone's name that forever or some moment it's gone. I feel horrible when that happens. I'm like, there's so many places I probably want to talk about, but they're gone now. My brain went numb.
Yeah, this has been great tonight, man. Has it not, David?
Oh man, we could do this again and again and again. Like we could have a series. We could have the Wolfe series.
I would love that. I would love to have that.
Like I said,
it just have that casual conversation, like casual Friday.
We could arrange that, right?
Yeah. I would love to have you on my podcast. I definitely would love to have you come on and just talk and stuff. I honestly just want to say that I just I've heard about you, but after talking with you tonight, I know a lot more about you than what I did before, and I appreciate that because I want to check out more of your matches.
Also,
I'll send you a few matches. Like reach out to me on Facebook and just reach out to me on Facebook and anyone wants to see a match, I'll be more glad to show you a 5-minute match, a 20-minute match, and let people understand there's an unpredictability that I like to call it up. Because of this, everyone goes by a certain name like unpredictable. I like to go by puzzled because I want to keep people guessing.
Yes.
I want to keep people on their toes and have that unpredictable feel. And some promos, I always see guys I did everything I could. My thing is that strategy didn't work. Now it's time to do something new. Because I think about my brother's used to be a baseball coach. I'm like, well, pitchers have to know what batter when they come to play, what they swing at and what they don't swing, and they got to realize that real soon as soon as they throw the ball.
Right.
First inning, first roundabout, they probably get a little idea. Second roundabout, they're like, okay, I think I know the strategy now. So they keep changing it up over and over again. I want the match to where I can have someone against the ropes and 10 things can go off in people's heads, and I can still pull out something different and keep them on their toes oh, that's new. Or, okay. And if the match haven't ends up when I lost the match and ended in a draw, they talk to me afterwards and go, look, my strategy didn't go out so well, so it's time to change it up. Next time in the ring, I know exactly what to do to change it, and it shows that progression instead of having that, oh, I'm going to wrestle the same way. Always do something different. Always have a different style.
Everett, we have one more question, or let's call it a night. What do you think?
We're gonna take it home. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, let's take it home, Dad. Let's take it
You
home.
want to go ahead and display those questions here? All right. Let me go ahead and display that. Here's the first one for you. Go ahead, David.
What was it?
Read it.
I can't really see. Any chance you?
What is the chances of me having a submission finisher? That actually would be a good idea if I can only have one where I can really be the standout. The only one I did, and I did it in the Ironman match, where I had like
What happened?
Oh no!
Did his phone die?
I think so.
Man.
Oh, the second time.
No, dude.
No.
All right.
Oh.
Yep, it's coming back.
Hey,
He's. Yeah. Let me go ahead. I'll add him. There
I
he
kill that
is.
again.
Hey, there it goes. Technology.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened there. So my apologies. So
We'll do this.
basically, it's like PAX. It's like PAX and a submission finisher, where you have the Rings of Saturn, I believe it's called. Well, instead of having my whole body around his arms, kind of crunching it up, I have one of his arms kind of locked right here, where it's kind of like an abdominal stretch. And because I wear jeans when I wrestle, I have a chokehold. And we just grab the jeans and apply that pressure with what the stretchiness of my jeans have, where I just use that just to lock on the pressure and make them tap out. It works on both the arms and then throat. But it would be interesting to have a submission finisher at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be really cool to have the Muda lock being a way to transition to a finishing submission. But I think as a Bret Hart, he would apply the sharpshooter a few times in a match, maybe one time, depending on who he's in the ring with. And he builds it up more and more and more. When Kurt Angle applied ankle lock, he didn't apply one all the time. He applied maybe 4, 5. He got the crowd more excited, like, oh, he got applied again. He got locked in this time. And he kept finding new ways to do it. And that's what made it more fun. That's probably why him and Desmond Wolfe was such a fun match to watch so many times, because he kept finding so many ways to transition into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this while we close out. Where can everybody see you next, Brandon Wolfe?
Tomorrow, I will be in Triple Crown Wrestling in Summer, I think in Ferguson, but it will be Somerset, Kentucky for Triple Crown Wrestling. The week after that, I'll be in Salina, Tennessee for Ultimate Championship Wrestling for UCW. The week after that, I will leave NAWE. I forgot the town. After that, got my book here. I have like a whole list of scheduling. It is in NAWE is in Eddyville, Kentucky, and the 27th I will be in Grindhouse Pro Wrestling in Jeffersonville, Indiana. In March, it's a whole book of things.
That's it, man.
My one show I can't wait to do is Caverna High School for UCW on March 12th. It is Vic Bruiser's, I believe, retirement night, where it'll be where Vic Bruiser is going to retire in professional wrestling. He's been going there for 32 years, and I've had the pleasure of being in the ring with him as an opponent and as a tag team partner. I hate seeing him go, but I understand, and I just love that man. Call him Pops, Papa Vic. And that's why we wear my Navy pants for tribute for my friend Robbie. And but the last Sunday of every month I'll be in Grindhouse, and I'm just an open book. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. I always look up Brandon Wolfe Wrestler, and you're bound to find me.
The only one thing ever before this week, me and him were talking on Messenger one day, is that Cage Match does not list a lot of stuff.
They don't.
I'm very much an underground, because people don't know where I've wrestled at completely, because they look at me and go oh, he hasn't wrestled very much, just in OVW and IWA. And no, I wrestled for the past 4 years in UCW, Unified Championship Wrestling, Big B Pro Wrestling, IWA, OVW, to work on wrestling, like
Yeah.
USA Championship Wrestling for Bro Princess. I wrestled up in Woodstock, Illinois for Premier Pro Wrestling twice. I've traveled around, and people don't know about those matches a lot because it's kind of underground. People don't pay attention to them as much. And I understand Kentucky has, we don't like to show a lot of footage. I understand AM Appalachian Mountain Wrestling over in Hazards, Kentucky. Like it's kind of a low point. Like people don't watch it a lot because you got to be there to watch, and it's in old school poster towns, and you promote and you get the crowd invested in your it's like that old school environment, like the NWA TV tape days, and you feel the crowd, and that's where a little bit of the old school me comes in, and I love that. And but I really wish they would. I would have all my matches written down if I wrestled, and so I can give it to them.
Yeah.
But as of now, I'm like the underground. Like what do you see is not exactly what you actually see. Like I'm very much that underground. Innovate and Kapow are the other two promotions. Like I have a whole list. I wish I can find it.
But this was so awesome. I want to say thank you so much, Brandon, for coming on tonight, my friend. This was awesome.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. I would love to come back anytime.
Absolutely. And Everett, take it away, plug away, go ahead, whatever you got. I don't have anything to plug. Actually, what do I got to plug? I'll just plug tomorrow night, Saturday night. I will be in attendance for my friend, one of my friends. He's the heavy hitter himself, 25 years in the business, Monster Mac. As Titan Championship Wrestling presents Monsters Among Men, honoring him, and a couple really good. It's a solidly stacked card that night, and a match that I'm really involved with and looking forward to is the Titan Tag Team Championship match as the current tag team team takeover. PJ Savage and Ransom take on Chris and Ross for the tag team titles.
That's going to be great, man. I got to EG up.
And what am I doing Sunday? I'm taking it easy because I'm going to go out to dinner and celebrate my birthday early because Monday is my real birthday.
Happy birthday, man. Happy early birthday.
Thank you. And that's it. That's what I'll
Let's
be
give
doing.
you a cheer. Let's give you a cheer for that, man. Happy birthday, David. Everyone that's watching right now, let's give David C. Russell, Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast, let's wish him happy birthday because his early happy birthday, everyone. Let's wish him a happy birthday. I don't have no candles in the cake, so
but Everett, what do you have in store for your podcast for the Everett Leach Show? Ooh.
Oh, man. Coming up this Tuesday on the Everett Leach Show, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on Podbeam live stream. Download the Podbeam app for your phone, Android, or Apple, or your iPhone. Dustin says, happy early birthday, David. Just want to throw that out there. And I'm going to have none other than, you may have seen her on AEW Dark. She had a match against Rio. None other than Karma Dean, straight out of the Nightmare Factory, Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory. I'm going to have Karma Dean on this Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific over on Podbeam live stream. So I'll be posting it up on my social media on Facebook, Everett Lee Show, Twitter at the Everett Lower Lee. And on Tuesday, David's a part of this right here on, actually, I said this Tuesday for Karma Dean. Excuse me. That's Wednesday night. Let me correct myself. Wednesday night, February 16th, Karma Dean. But Tuesday, February 22nd, I am going to church, and David's going with me. I'm dragging him to church with me because I'm going to have Reverend Ronnie Roberts on. You may have seen
maybe certain somebody might want to pop in that if they're open invitation to join us.
I just said you're going to be on there. Did you not hear me?
Our guest of the night on the Deathmatch Russell podcast.
Hey, David, you celebrate your birthday a little bit early here, man. You sit back and
drinking a little bit of the bubbly.
Maybe Brandon would like to be a part of that. We never know.
I would love to. I would love to be a part of
Pop
it
in
if
there.
possible, and then be like, like I said before, I love Ronnie. There's like,
Okay.
he's been around me since day one, like I've said, and being in Grindhouse, he has been an absolute father figure to so many people, and he's guiding me in the right direction and giving me as much advice as I like. I want to take everything. I want to take every advice and every criticism that he's giving me and get better. And Grindhouse has really elevated me, and I have him to thank, him and Too Tough Tony to thank for a lot of it. And thank you for opening doors for me to go through and be a part of the family.
Nice. I'm not on his good list right now, Brandon, because I didn't show up on the podcast with David last week, and he did not like that. And he's going to give me an earful. So you know what? If you want to come on the Everett Lee show. If you're not doing anything in 2 weeks on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern.
I'll remind you. We'll remind you.
Show up with the bag of popcorn.
Seven my time.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to tell him. Yeah, he was telling me. I totally forgot about the time differences, Everett.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you get used to those time zones, man, when you have guests. That's, but yeah, it would be great to have you come on and listen to Reverend Ronnie drill me for not being on the podcast, co-hosting with Dave.
Yeah.
Entertainment at its finest, ladies and gentlemen.
We won't tell him. We won't tell him that you're coming on. How's that?
Dude,
I bet he'll find out one way or another.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Watches your podcast, David.
I know he does.
You
I know yeah, can't do that now. It's too late. Never mind.
Can't do that now. He's gonna be like,
I'm done.
Like if Brandon don't show up. Dude, you're like, you don't show up. There he is. Hey, David, it's like this. If Brandon doesn't show up, he could be like, Ronnie could be like, man, it's like, I heard Brandon's going to be on here. Where's Brandon? It's like, how do you know about that? I was like, I watched your podcast.
Yes, he has. Shout out to shout out to the Reverend. It's going to be great to catch up with him again.
Damn.
Yeah. You can't use that one. You can't use that one.
What? What's that?
What? Oh man!
I got the soundboard up, man. I got the.
I love it.
There's only one thing I don't do on my podcast.
I don't do requests.
That's. I'm just joking. Oh man. Yeah. I gotta throw in humor, man, for everyone. All right, David, I've had enough of coming in and crashing your show tonight.
Let's close out. Have a good night, Brandon. Until next time.
Have a good night, guys. I'll see you next time.
All right, appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Got the video ever.
You can find more Deathmatch Russell podcasts on the following social media: deathmatchrussell.com, follow on Twitter @DavidNJ32, and on Facebook, facebook.com/DJDaveNJ32, Instagram @DavidNJ36. Hey, wrestling fans, I want to mention Collar and Elbow. Collar and Elbow was founded on traditional values of professional wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product intended to connect with people on an emotional level, a symbiotic relationship where one cannot flourish without the other. We strive to create a product that embodies our passion for professional wrestling expressed through street fashion. Visit collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code DeathmatchRussellPodcast and save 10% off when you make a purchase. Collar and Elbow, where wrestling passion meets street fashion. Me on Podcast City Network at podcastcity.net, facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit the like button and share. And on Twitter @PodcastCityNet. Also on Johnner's Wrestling Podcast Network, www.wrestlingwithjohners.com. You can hear Deathmatch Russell podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes.